Following on from our first tutorial about how to create a table and plot data, we're now going to start looking at creating our graph for standard deviation. You'll notice that we've got now the mean solution for each of our different trials, so basically we've worked out the average. And on the right hand side we've got our standard deviation mark. This is all really good, but we now need to create a second table just so we can actually put that data together. What I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy from cell A2 all the way down to A8. I'm going to copy that data and I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to put it in cell A11. I'm going to do the same for my title for mean solutions as well as standard deviation of solution. I'm going to copy that data. I'm going to paste it in, so I have now two titles for each of my columns. For the data though, I want you to cell reference. And what cell referencing is means that it's going to replicate whatever is in a previous cell. This is different from copy and pasting because it means if the data ever changes, it'll automatically update the following cell. So I'm going to say equals, and I'm just going to say I want it to equal what is in cell G3. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to press enter. I'm going to do the same for standard deviation. I'm going to press equals, and I'm going to say H3 because that's my standard deviation column. Again, rather than writing them all at the same time, I'm going to click on the cell that I've just done. You'll see in the bottom right hand corner there is a fill handle. I'm just going to drag that down, and you'll notice that it actually copies all of the different data across. Just to show you an example of how this works, if trial 1, for example, in cell B5 wasn't -3 but it was +90. The reason I'm doing +90 is because it's a dramatic change, and I just want to show you the data change. So I'll put that in. You'll see now the average now is only -3 and the standard deviation is 52. It also has automatically updated itself down in the bottom table. So that's why we use cell referencing rather than actual copying and pasting, because that data wouldn't change then. Once we've got our table, I'm going to select my data. Okay, so you can see I've clicked on cell A11 and I've dragged all the way down to B17. So I've selected my key solutions from 0 to 1 and its mean data. I've left the standard deviation part out for now. Once I've selected my data, I'm going to go to the data tab, to the charts tab at the very top of the page, and then I'm going to click on scatter. And I want to mark scatter chart. It's automatically now produced a title for me as well as a series. Now because we only have one set of series, I'm going to delete this because I don't need it, and that gives me a little bit more room in my chart. I'm also going to put on a line of linear to show where the actual trend line is. So to do that, I click on one of the data points on the table. I then double click with my mouse, and then I'll right click with my mouse, and then I'm going to say add trend line. And you'll notice that the trend line will automatically work out where it needs to go. On the options tab, I also want you to display the R² value on the chart. And once you've done that, you can click OK. And you can move this around any way you would like so that it's actually not in the way of your data. So that's how we put data onto a chart, and that's how we actually do a trend line. Now we need to add a standard deviation. To do that, again, you click on one of the data points, you double click with your mouse or right click with your mouse, and then once you've got the format data series option up, you'll see that there's error bars just at the very second one down. Once you've selected error bars, we want to display both standard deviations, but we don't want it on X bars, we want it on Y. So it's really important that we change it to Y error bars, and I'm going to put in both. It's not a fixed value that we've got. We actually know what our data is, and this bit's really important because some people just leave it and think that they've now put standard deviation on because they've got the error bars on there, but it's a fixed amount. we wanted to actually specify the standard deviation that we've worked out. So we go to custom and we're going to specify the value. And it's saying, what is the positive values? Well, we already know what the positive values are, so we're going to say it's from this cell C12 all the way down to C17. And we also know what the negative values are going to be. Again, it's going to be the same set of data, C12 down to C17. And when we click OK, now we have accurate data for our standard deviation. When I click OK again, you then see we have it plotted on our chart. The last thing we really need to do on our chart now is just again make sure we tidy the rest of it up. We need to label the different axes on our chart and give it more meaningful titles. To do that, you simply click on your chart. You have here what's called chart layout, and then you'll see you've got chart title, chart axes. So I'm going to go chart axes. I'm going to say my vertical axis, I want to rotate a title. Now you see the title appears. I'm going to simply type in there. This is going to be value of mean value of value of solution, value of change, sorry. Okay. If I'm going to put an x-axis on, a vertical axis, just go to titles, vertical, horizontal this time. Below, this is going to be solution amount. You can move these wherever you see fit. Mean values of solution of change of mass based on percentage. Okay, so you can see now I've tidied up my chart and put on titles, I've put on axes, both. And that concludes this tutorial of how to create a graph to show standard deviation based on your data. Thank you very much.